welcome back everyone. So I'm actually polishing my exhaust tips here. I do them every so often. They are pretty banged up over there. Again, this is a Borla exhaust on my Grand Prix. So it's stainless steel, I believe it's T304. I've had this exhaust for like as long as a car. So the car is 22 years old. So I think this was one of the first modifications I put on there. So I put it on like in 2000. This car's a 99, so I put this on there. I just cleaned up the other exhaust tip. But these don't really clean up 100% because you know, they got the caked on carbon buildup inside the little crack here, so it doesn't always come out. And so I just kind of just leave it like that. Plus, you know, then you got the staining here, the rainbow staining of it. So what I'm actually end up using right now is I'm using up some metallic cut from Pro. It's not the most abrasive metal polish out on the market, but it does a pretty decent job. And I'll just show you how I'm using it. And this is one of the first releases from Pro, this bottle. So it tends to, you know, it has a real strong scent. I'm not a big fan of it, so supposedly they fixed it. I'm just using a microfiber towel here, low nap. I would normally just play with two hands, but I'm using my phone, so and I don't really care about this towel. And then I'm just going to be rubbing it by hand. So really nothing too crazy because I don't have a lot of room to get in here, so I have to kind of just use my hand to get in there. The first thing I did was actually wipe down because this car's been sitting out here for a couple days since I last washed it. So I'll just hit it with this. I'll have to get in between. I'll have to use two hands to get in between the exhaust tips here, so I'll do that off camera. But I'm just going to show you the way I break it in, and then there's plenty of product on here. Just going to go ahead and go around the lip. And again, if you're doing this by hand, you know, expect a nice little workout. Okay, so I'll let that, you know, CarPro states to remove this right away. I'm actually going to put a little bit more on the towel because I'm actually going to attack the inner portion. Actually, should just pour some in here. You can actually see how thin the product is. It's like a lotion. It supposedly has a what do they call it? I believe they call it diamond cut abrasives or something like that. So you can use it by machine. It tells you by machine or by hand. If you're gonna do it by hand, you just kind of let it you know, use firm pressure, buff away, repeat steps 1 to 3. You can use wire wool or microfiber towel, and then you can use it by machine as well. I tend to use it by machine when I do the mufflers on here, but I think that they said this has diamond cut abrasives. You can see it's supposed to have a real high cut on their scale, or 8 and a gloss of 10. So like I said, it's not the most aggressive product, but I mean, it gets the job done if you don't have a lot of stuff to polish out. I'll tack the inside in a bit. I'll do that off camera. I don't want to go too long. I should have busted out the mother's power cone. That's what I should have done to get the inside, but I'll just do this by hand. Okay, and so what I'm going to do, I actually have a little piece of steel wool, and I'm going to just tack this area here. So I'm just going to pour some more in there. Pour some in the steel wool. Just have a little piece here about the size of my fingers that can actually grab it, and then I would use this to attack any carbon. That's a little harder to use. This is what is it, 4-ox, whatever they call that. Anyways, it's 000, 4 zeros, steel wool. And you can actually hear it. It's just not abrasive enough to get this built up carbon off. What I should have done is actually hit it with an iron remover or something a little bit stronger. But you know, I just can't get in between here. Okay, so then I'll just get another towel. Just have a Kirkland yellow towel, and then I'll just buff everything away. One thing you're gonna have to keep an eye on with metallic cut is it needs to be wiped off. Like it still leaves product on there, like a haze, and it's kind of hard to get off. So I recommend using some sort of panel wipe or even water to remove it. See, that's not bad. It looks a lot better. So yeah, I would have to get like super aggressive to get in here. I just can't get in with that steel wool in there. But I mean, it looks a lot better. I'm actually going to come back and I'm going to attack the inside of it. It's still going to get dirty, but that looks a lot better than this. And then once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and prep wipe it again. And because I have so many coatings left over, I'm just going to throw jade quartz on here. I'll toss a coat of that on there. So let me just go ahead and knock this out, and then I'll come back and I'll show you guys how to. I'm going to ceramic coat them, and I think that's it. I'm just going to do a coat of jade quartz on here. I might do two, but I might just do just one. And normally I don't coat the exhaust tips. Normally I just use the Wolfgang metal sealant, but I'm going to coat them this time. Just because like then I have plenty of coating to use. The coating does make it a little easier to clean. I just don't like using coatings in here because I am going to have to polish it again in a few months, because this carbon does eventually stain because they have the Wolfgang on there, the sealant, and it's still kind of got dirty. So I'm going to just do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and knock this one out, prep pipe, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the coating. Alright, so I finished polishing up the tips, and look, they look a lot better. Yeah, there's still some caked on stuff on there. I think like some carb cleaner will really get in there, but I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to go ahead and coat them. It's getting kind of late here. I'm losing daylight. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to coat them with jade quartz. I'm going to do one coat. I'll probably put another coat tomorrow. Hopefully that the dew from the morning doesn't really do anything. If it does, I'm just going to go ahead and do another coat in the morning. Pretty straightforward stuff. I'm going to put some on a suede cloth that I put a little bit too much on. So I have a little small suede cloth. I did the other ones on there, so I picked up some dirt. Again, not the end of the world. And just rub it on there. Nothing. It's not magic here. Put this on here and kind of block your view for a second. Like I said, I'm not too worried about durability on this thing, because I'm probably going to end up polishing them up a little later. See if I can get in here. It's a little harder to get in here, but I got it. One way to tell that the jade's on there, I don't know if it'll show up on camera, kind of hard to see, but it's starting to rainbow in this area here. Kind of hard to see. I don't know if it shows up better here, but I can see it rainbowing. That's how you know that this coating is starting to flash. like I said, I put plenty of product on the suede there. So just let that sit. I'm gonna go ahead and close the bottle here. And I'm actually using the prototype version of that. Here's the prep spray I used. I had some black, there's a Pinnacle Black Label Diamond Prep Surface Prep Spray. So put that there. I'll just put the suede in here for now so it doesn't blow around. And then the next thing is we're just gonna let this sit just for a little bit. The way that they tell you to remove jade is you touch it with your finger, and if it still kind of swipes and it's still kind of wet, right now it's still kind of wet, so another few seconds. I'm gonna grab another towel here, because I'm gonna be junking these towels. This is actually a Edgeless 300 that got stained when I washed it with a Shine Supply black edgeless towel. So I think it can be ready to be removed here. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't no longer swipe, so I'm going to go ahead and just wipe this down with one side of the towel. Again, you don't have to go too hard because you're not rubbing the coating off. To get in between here. It's a little harder to do with one hand. Really just to get in there. And then I'm going to flip it to a clean side. And then we're just going to make sure that it's completely leveled off. And one thing you'll notice is when you wipe off jade quartz, it'll feel slick as it starts to cure. Once it starts to cure, it'll tack up on you. But you can do this with any coating. Like I said, I have plenty of coatings left over from my 2020 test that I'm just trying to find out things to use it on. So I'll just use it on various projects. Like for example, I use jade quartz on this one. I've been testing it as a wheel coating. It works just fine as a wheel coating. Same thing with like all the sea quartz stuff that I have. Normally I would use like Harper Deluxe or something like this on here because it has a higher temperature rating. But again, this will work just fine. So again, that's all there is to it, to polish and protect your exhaust tips. Normally, like I said, I wouldn't coat them because the coating is not going to be on here long enough, because I'm going to have to go ahead and polish them up again to restore that luster. So it doesn't really matter because I have plenty of ceramic coating laying around that I can actually polish this up, you know, a month from now. That's just an exaggeration, but 6 months from now, a little dirty, then I can polish them up, recoat them, do the entire process. Or the other thing is washing them. They'll be easier to clean now that they're ceramic coated. But again, Wolfgang metal sealant is probably still my go-to for protecting or sealing up metal because it just leaves a higher luster, because it does have some fine abrasives in there. So again, that's just polishing and ceramic coating your exhaust tips. Go ahead and do it. Yep, some extra ceramic coating. Again, nothing to lose. So again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.